So the rating refreshes are here, and to be honest, they look pretty nice. Some of them absolutely incredible, and one that I do want to really kind of give a go is going to be Ekitike. You kind of knew that he was going to get an upgrade from this. He was the league to come out, and most definitely he got a solid upgrade. Going from 83 to the 86, absolutely brilliant. So nice pace upgrade. Didn't give him a playstyle plus, but we can kind of let that slide. Naturally, he is one of the better finishers in the game in general, especially in the Premier League. So it's going to be an interesting one to see where he kind of ends up. Another one that I do think is just a massive upgrade for him, and I kind of get where people going, like this is meant to be a rating refresh. Why have you gone from 72 to 85? Don't get me wrong, absolutely love the card itself. I think he is a very technical and very gifted player, and once he's kind of let a little bit more loose in the City team, if he does ever manage to, I think he would be a pretty solid player from the kind of ability that we've seen so far. Dribbling wise, looks phenomenal. He most definitely is one of the Evo cards I was looking at, and we have managed to get him in a silver, so hopefully we get him in the 85 and we can sell off the silver. But naturally, some very, very nice upgrades. We also saw a little bit of Son in this. We've obviously got McTominay, Elise, Rodman, very, very nice options. And I daren't say it that genuinely, who has taken over EA at this point? Because it seems like they're getting things right. May not be to everybody's taste, and I don't think it's bound to be. It's naturally going to be kind of a bit of an up and down with the community. Some people might really like the lower curve. Some people might just think, okay, just get on with it now and want to get to that mega team. I personally like the slower curve. It's definitely in the right direction. So let's get started then. We've got 2 minutes in and we've not done anybody. First and foremost, one of the better ones I do think is going to be Ekitike. I do really think he will be in that absolute meta category at this point. When it comes to strikers, there's only so many if you kind of go price tag alone. We take out the icons, like you look at your R9s and your Eusebios, millions upon millions. It's not affordable, realistically. And even then, free 400k for one player might not be in everybody's kind of budget at this point, but realistically I do think he's going to be a nice one. The main thing is how quickly they do the evos after this, because we've got an 83. I know we're starting to get some 84s in there, not necessarily 85s yet, but if that gold really kind of ramps up pretty quickly, it could obsolete the 86. We will see. It might not get the same upgrades, which is going to be the important part of it. If then we are looking at another great player in this, and I do think he's obviously going to be in here, it's Alvarez. Another phenomenal one. Now, he is in just an unrealistic budget at this point, 1.2 mil. To be honest, I do think, I do like his 87 anyway. So if you're looking for coins, head over to Eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by TradeShield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. This is an interesting one for him because realistically, you're not getting that big of an upgrade. Now, obviously, promo cards are always going to be a little bit more expensive. And after playing with Alvarez is kind of press proven. I felt like it was still a very good card in itself. Upgrading now to the Finesse Shot Plus, you've kind of got to take that into consideration because realistically, stats-wise, we've not really got that much of an upgrade. Like, this is kind of what the rating refreshers was slightly meant to be. It was meant to be that 1 or 2 change. Normally you're not going to get a 10, a 5, a 15 difference in overall because they wouldn't have missed by that much, surely, unless they are bringing somebody like an Oscar Bob up to that main roster sort of thing. They're kind of thinking, okay, well, he is a big name. They're bringing him up to the point where we're at, the 85s, the 86s, and hopefully the prices will change in that. We are only a day in, so not even 24 hours. I imagine they will drop down a little bit more as we go through the week, but I do think Alvarez is obviously got to be up there. I mean, he is one of the better strikers in the game, full stop when it comes to a gold, so even a slight upgrade, getting himself in the finesse, keeping the 4-4, which is fine, but getting himself a few more extra play styles, the first touch, obviously having the press proven and swapping it over is always going to be pretty nice. Now we do have a great SBC as well that we want to kind of throw into this. It is going to be Gula. Now he is coming in as an 86. He has gone up from an 81. Absolutely brilliant upgrade to say the least for him, and he's coming in at 69,000 coins. I think that is just absolutely huge for him. Let alone that, getting the 13 pace increase is going to be massive for the card in itself. 9 on the shooting, 5 passing. This is a master upgrade for him, and I think for 70,000 coins to get a Real Madrid card in there, absolutely brilliant. He's a 4-4. He's got himself some nice rolls. Classic 10++, everything else as a plus. I think it's a no-brainer as an SBC, and I'd definitely go into the very usable as this sort of card comes in. I don't know if he quite mixes it up with your Vert sort of level cams. I feel like he's just below that, but in terms of the upgrade, it's really put him into a perspective that if you're looking at a certain budget, he's definitely got to be in it. Then one that has been just rocking a lot of people's team at the moment, and it's going to be Salma. She has been exceptional. So getting a double upgrade in general it's going to be a nice upgrade for her. I really like her 84. I think it is one of them cards that if you're running a Liga F, if you've kind of got Pinner in your team, if you've got Pateus, Bonmati, Hansen, anybody of that sort of caliber, she's definitely a nice link that you can go with, and she's absolutely rapid. Let alone then getting an extra bit of pace, extra bit of shooting, some more dribbling, 5 on the composure. Absolutely stunning. Very, very nice card. Again, big price at the moment. Should drop naturally a little bit more, but I can imagine she will stay at a pretty high price with how very meta relevant she is. One that I do think is definitely deserving. I think is in great position for him. But the card itself just doesn't scream crazy. It screams good, but it's obviously Cucurella. He's gone up from his 84, finally got a big pace increase. And the only thing that I can kind of say with him at this point, because he is cheaper, under 100k is probably considered cheaper now, he is definitely needed for that left back spot. We have got very few left backs that can actually left back. We've got a lot of pacey left backs, but no defending. We've got a solid upgrade for him just in general. We throw the shadow on him. 89 on that pace, 91 on the defending. I do think this is a nice upgrade for him. You just look at the Premier League left backs in general. We're looking at what, Kirkes and Robinson. They're both great in what they can do. Like, don't get me wrong, they will get the upgrades at some point as well. You look at them like you've got, where is he? Robinson. Pace is just absolutely gone. Kirkes, 87 pace, 77, 80. Not bad. It's started to drop down a lot now. Then obviously Robinson, pretty much the same. 88 on the pace, 78, 80. And then it just goes further and further down. So in terms of left back for the Prem, it's absolutely massive. Like, it's a huge upgrade for him. And I think you're definitely going to get a lot of use out of him. I just think at this point, you kind of just wanted a little bit more. Maybe a weak foot upgrade would have been really nice for him, but I know that's kind of just asking for above and beyond as such. And I do think when we do look at the likes of Oscar Bob, I do think he is going to be in that usable category. When we look at the right wings, we've obviously got someone like Mbeumo kind of in his sort of rating at this point. Naturally, you're kind of looking at your Salah as the absolute top. Maybe you're looking at kind of an Alanga. You're looking at maybe Saka to some extent as kind of like the mid-tier. And I would say Oscar Bob will put himself in and around that Mbeumo sort of category. He's got the great pace. He's got excellent dribbling. The shooting could do with the work a little bit more, which is absolutely fine because you can just go straight out with a hunter. You could go with a finisher if you really want to max out as much shooting as possible. And it does turn him into that 89 right wing, which as an 85 is going to be pretty nice. And naturally he has got himself the 4-star 3-star. Would have been nice with a 4-4. Again, just asking for a bit too much, but that could be the future with him. I do think he would be in that more very usable category. And let's go with McSauce. Let's get away from the Premier League. McSauce has had a season and a half. He is obviously now going into the 87. He was an 85. He has gained a Playstyle Plus, one of the main ones that has. Incisive Plus is absolutely massive for him. I think in terms of a Serie A midfield, he's put himself back on the map with that one. The 85 is nice. Like, it's a great starter card if you're running a Serie A team. I mean, you can't really grumble too much with him. But this is a lovely upgrade. He's obviously got himself huge amounts of agility balance. Definitely look at the in-games more so than just the overall upgrade and the price. That is a massive upgrade for him. If you've ever played with the 85, you do know he's kind of is just a bit clunky on the ball, and I think this is really, really going to help him out massively. Gaining 25 and 27 agility balance is huge for any card. We saw how much of a detriment balance was for Henry. Now it's changed. He's one of the best strikers in the game. This is a huge, huge upgrade for him. I really think in terms of a midfield, this puts him at the absolute top. It really, really does. And Elise got himself an upgrade, which we kind of knew he was I think one of the first leaked in this. I don't know how well he's played in the Bundesliga, but he's clearly done enough to get himself a singular upgrade. He has got the technical plus, which is always nice. And naturally, stats-wise, for a single upgrade, he's done pretty well. From 86 to 87, he's gained 9 pace, 5 shooting, 4 passing, 1 dribbling, and 4 physical. I mean, if that's just a 1 upgrade, I don't want to see what a double would be for him. That is a huge upgrade for him. No wonder. I did think when I saw him from 86 to 87 and he was coming in at 500k, I'm like, I get the French tax. I get maybe he's in a very prominent league in terms of Bayern Munich and Bundesliga, which is always nice, but 480,000 coins more, and then you kind of look at the in-games, you look at the stats in general, it's a huge upgrade for him. Like, genuinely, I don't think we've ever seen that big of an upgrade on a card on a singular overall, which is just massive for him. So again, it does put himself nicely. One that I did think was most definitely just deserving. Eze managed a big move, maybe not necessarily hit the ground absolutely running with Arsenal, but you know that he's going to get the time in. He's definitely going to be that sort of card. He's got himself the first touch plus, which is going to be huge for the card in itself. And in terms of the upgrade, less than Elise for a triple upgrade, but we kind of digress. We obviously have got the 9 pace, 3 shooting, 3 on the passing, 2 on the dribbling. Nothing too crazy on the kind of overalls, no agility balance, massive upgrades, but he's already a very nice cam. He's going to put himself into a lovely category. Now, yes, it is going to be massively kind of on that dribbling passing. Like a lot of players, you'd probably look at the Hunter. We'll turn him into kind of your more attacking cam. The first touch plus is going to be amazing. I would go... When you look at him, like, you've kind of got to compare him now into kind of like your Palmer, your upgraded Bruno, then kind of looking kind of further afield into like the Bellinghams, the Verts. I think in terms of price, I'd probably put him a little bit lower, especially when we do look at the Verts kind of card. I think he's not quite on Verts' level yet. I think Verts was just unbelievable. Like, there was just levels for Verts. I didn't realize how good the card truly was. He has obviously got the 4-4, which is massive. I do think I would possibly go into a very, very usable level, like a top end of it, or I would go into kind of like a bottom end top meta. But with the fact that Verts is there, and I do think I would prefer Palmer slightly, maybe even Bruno, but I would probably put them all around that sort of level. I think that would be kind of where I would cap him off. He's going to be an interesting one. And it seems to be very Prem orientated, because we do have Romero. Whether we're going to get a second team on this, I know it did say team 1, but pretty much most do now. 70,000 coins for a lovely upgrade for him. He's got himself some nice pace. Defending physical is up a little bit more. Agility balance on 5 and 6. Good amounts of passing as well. That's a massive one. 16 on that short, 15 on that long. Takes him to a very good, kind of safe, comfortable centre-back. Now, obviously, you're going to be looking at the shadow still. I mean, in terms of what we got centre-back-wise, all he's missing is a playstyle plus, and you're pretty excited from him. I think he would be one of the better centre-backs you could get in the game for very little pricing. For 70,000 coins, that's not bad at all. Now, obviously, like any promo, you've got to have a few of the low-rateds that are unfortunately going to be slightly missing. Like, they're going to be like, you kind of look a few of these, they're not really going to kind of give you too much, really. Like, Tauvin might give you a bit in terms of a striker, and that's really kind of about it, to be honest. Everybody else, realistically, would be in more of a miss sort of category. I don't think there would be many that I would go, yes, we could definitely go into them. And Evo is probably just take that one away, to be honest. So we'll knock all of these down realistically and look at the kind of final ones. Now, Son is always an interesting one. I know he's doing well. Kind of not surprising, to be honest, in the MLS. I don't even know how old is he? He is 33 years old. I'd kind of expect him to do pretty well in the MLS. Like, he's not he's not an average player in general. Like, he was in the pomp considered one of the best players in the world. Like, yes, he would have been a top 10, top 20 kind of list, but realistically, to get on that list, you've got to be pretty special. And in a team that wasn't necessarily dominating, he was doing very, very well. So I could kind of expect it. It's a nice upgrade for him. I don't know whether a triple, though. I mean, I'll absolutely take it. Son is always going to be incredible to have. A 4-star, 5-star as his original card, keeps the finesse shot. Tons of upgrades, as you can see, passing, shooting, pace, dribbling, all gone up very nicely. And obviously, he's got to be in that top category. It's Son. He's got the finesse, he's got the dribbling. Everything you need from him is going to be incredible. And then we have Lucy Bronze coming in for Chelsea, the WSL. I've seen some mega WSL teams and genuinely had my rear end handed to me from a few of them. Some of them just absolutely, you just can't get the ball off them. They're so quick on it. And I do think Bronze, like right backs go, she's got to be up there. Jockey plus, some decent on that defending physical. I mean, you're not going to find too much wrong with the defending side of the card. You throw a shadow on her, you've got 89 on the pace, 91 defending. I mean, for the price that you're paying, easily linkable, 130,000. Solid, absolutely solid. Now, personally, in terms of right back, I'd definitely put her up there. I think when you think of right backs in general, take away the icons, take away a lot of the heroes. Like, maybe, yeah, you could start to throw in a few of the lower heroes, but like Maicon, they're going to be massive price. When you do look at kind of your Hakimi, he's kind of like the top in there. You just have a look at a few of them. There isn't that many. So realistically, you're kind of picking and choosing a few. Like, we look at Hakimi, obviously one of the better ones. Fair enough. Valverde, Kimmich, no thank you. Then obviously you go a bit further down. Koundé, fantastic, definitely up there. Trent, mid sort of level, I'd definitely be looking at the upgrade, but even then, it all depends on what sort of right back you like. You've got Battle, you've obviously got Maicon, again, massive price. Carvajal, definitely not at the minute. Llorente, up there with the best of them. Reece James, absolutely. Di Lorenzo, solid. And then it kind of drops off until they get upgrades. Dumfries needs an upgrade. You look at Cancelo, you look at the Llorente from the base. It's just very much a downgrade from there. Frimpong, decent, but needs the defending, most definitely. Then obviously we kind of look through a few more. We've got obviously Rodman, who was the perfect, beautiful card in the trailer. They've gone all out for it. 1 million coins. Massive from a quick step plus, as we know. Pace wise, just a 1 upgrade. Fair enough, we've only got the 92 anyway. Definitely a good upgrade on the shooting, the dribbling, the passing. The card already was a very nice one. It was starting to lose its pomp a little bit in terms of the downgrade, in price that is. But naturally, the Swanson, Rodman, Wilson link is forever going to be incredible. The quick step into Wilson's just immaculate shooting will always put her in the absolute top. It's just natural. And then finally we end on the Barca centre back, the one I actually do have. I've managed to pack. Woohoo! 140,000 with the intercept. I'd say it obviously very medium, very, very standard across the board, but naturally in terms of a centre back, I wouldn't complain too much. Spanish, decent defending, composure could do with a bit of work, but you're going to throw the shadow. 83, 91, 83. A standard solid centre-back. I don't think he'd be in the meta list, but like kind of next to Romero, he's kind of got that one-up with the Playstyle Plus, but naturally still an absolute baller in there. So let me know down below what you think. Is there anybody you've managed to pack? What could we potentially see in Team 2? Leave it down below. I'll catch you for that next one. Peace.